Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2023 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbred as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements, wisdom and oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. I'm actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have the Sun. And of course, for the first few weeks of August, we're actually going to have the Sun in Leo, which is your 5th house of romance, creativity, children. And then it'll move into Virgo toward the end of August, which will be your 6th house of work, daily routines, and health. All right, we have 4, and 4th house energy for you guys is Cancer. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there now, but generally speaking, 4th house points to your home, roots, and mother. And we have Virgo, so we were just speaking about that, how as we get toward the end of August, we're actually going to start Virgo season. As far as transits through there as well, I believe we're going to have, well, Mercury retrograde starts, but I'm trying to remember if it starts in Leo or if it does start in Virgo, so give me a second to figure that out. Yeah, it will be in Virgo, actually. So yeah, it could definitely be some revision around your daily routines, your work, your health in August. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. All right, and in the main situation position, we have the Ace of Wands, and then challenging that, we have the Ace of Swords. So, to me, just looking at these two cards, it looks like there's that push-pull between the desire to do something, but the challenge could be you might be overthinking it, right? So, on the one hand, you might be feeling this urge or this nudge to start something new, but then once you get caught up in your mind around how you would actually undertake that new activity, that could be what is holding you up at this time. So, that's what I see with that. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 3 of Wands. So this might explain for some of you why you're feeling that way, right? Because for some of you might feel like, okay, I've already put in a lot of work towards something, right? And now I'm just waiting to reap the rewards of that work. So that could be what's holding you back a little bit from starting something new. Like, okay, yeah, I could start this new thing, but at the same time, I know I've put some work toward another area. So let me see if I get the results from that before I move on to the next thing. So it makes sense to see that come up in that regard. And this is an Aries energy, actually. All right. Past energy, we have the 10 of Wands. And I won't focus, but this is a Sagittarius energy here. So for some of you, that could be part of it as well, right? Where you could feel like, okay, similar to what we were just talking about with the 3 of Wands, you might feel to a certain extent that you've already put in a lot of work towards something. So like, okay, you know what, I need a little bit of a break here, right? So maybe on the one hand, you feel like there's that part of you that would like to start a new thing, but realistically, you know, like, okay, you know what, I've undertaken such a large amount of things lately anyway, I need that little breather before I move on to the next thing. All right, present position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is actually the court card for Taurus, which is your 2nd house of possession, self-worth, finances. So for some of you, that could be part of what it is too, right? Because maybe you've reached a certain level of achievement to where you do feel comfortable and content at this time to not jump into the next big thing, right? Like, okay, you know what? I've already made it to a certain level. There's no real need. I don't feel that urge to push myself, right? And I do have to say, for some of you, you might have felt that push to further your goals for a long time while you guys had Pluto and Capricorn. It briefly moved out of there into Aquarius, and now that it's back into Capricorn, that could be why you might start to feel that little push again, right? Like, okay, I thought I was over that urge, right? I thought I've achieved what I needed to achieve. Now I'm starting to feel this little, you know, prod, this poking and prodding energy pushing me towards something new. That could be what it is if you are feeling that. All right, and then your future position, we have the Hangman. So to me, this says that you might not reject the idea outright of starting something new, but I feel like there's going to be some thought around it, right? So rather than maybe you would have just jumped in head first, like, okay, yep, I get this urge, tomorrow I'm on my way to do it. Now you might really take a lot more things into consideration, right? And maybe because you have reached a certain level of success and comfort to where you have that luxury to take your time before deciding whether or not to act on something. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have judgment. So yeah, for some of you might actually have this urge to revisit something from the past, right? So that could be part of it too. Where you're like, okay, maybe there's this thing that I did ditch in the past. Like, you know what, this just isn't really working for me right now. But now you might start to feel that pull, drawing you back toward it again, which, could make sense. Like we said, we have Capricorn, or rather, Pluto back in Capricorn, which is your career house. We also have the Venus retrograde, like we were talking about, that's going to be taking place throughout all of August in your fifth house, romance, creativity. And then we're also going to have that Mercury retrograde in your sixth house of work, right? So plenty of going on there to make you feel that pull toward the past. So it could be any of those things realistically. All right, in the environment position, we have the Six of Swords. So interesting to see this energy here because, again, I almost feel like these are. So, this, like I was saying, is that being pulled back toward the past, and then this is moving towards something new. So, to me, this reminds me of what we were talking about with that push pull dynamic you guys might be feeling with those ace energies. So, if nothing else, this could just be saying that the key would be to take a breather, right? To, distance yourself from the situation a little bit, just maybe get out in nature for a few days and really disconnect and help you, and that will help you reset to figure out, all right, what would I like to take on next. Hopes or fears position, we have the Six of Wands. So this is a Leo energy here, and this is energy that points to recognition, success. So this could just be saying that maybe is what some of you are hoping for, right? So like I said, with that Three of Wands in the foundation, part of you might feel like, hey, I've put in a certain level of work to this point, to where I should just be waiting for those rewards to jump in rather than having the need to jump on to a new thing, take on something new, right? I should be just able to sit back and reap the rewards of work already done. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Three of Swords. So yeah, like we said, with all of these retrograde energies that we already covered, could just be one of those things where it's not necessarily that those rewards won't be forthcoming. It could just be that they're going to take longer than you'd like. So, and if you're feeling like, no, I want to see this tangible evidence right now, right, then that could be where the disappointment could come and play for some of you. We, of course, just had the North Node move into your sign. It's going to be there for the next 18 months, so you guys are going to have a lot of chance for growth and opportunities there. And then having the South Node in Libra, which is what this Three of Swords energy represents as well. There could be some releasing there as far as partnerships, maybe getting out of contracts that you've been in for a while, relationships, possibly even just revisiting those things from the past and seeing what was done wrong, what was done right, what could have been done better, right? So it could just be a lot of reflection going on for you guys this month. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, for a lot of you, I feel like if there is something within you that makes you feel like you have this goal out of reach, like I said, I feel like for the majority of you, the culprit there could be that Pluto retrograde back in your 10th house of career and social status, because like I said, it looks like for a lot of you, it looks like you have put in the work to this point, you have achieved success, but now that little voice in the back of your head might be saying, no, you have to do more, 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 right? So that could be what some of you are feeling. So even though you might realistically be closer to a King of Pentacles status, you might see yourselves as more of like a Page of Pentacles, feeling like, no, I have to strive more and more and more. Which is obviously a fine feeling to have as long as you're truly doing it for the right reasons. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Make Assumptions, and it says be aware of unconscious assumptions. So let's see what the message says. All right, it says assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. Well, I mean, obviously that doesn't sound like the best of energy to be in general there, but right, probably a good reminder to watch out for that. Like we said, given you can have the Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde at play in August. All right. Moving on to your wisdom of the oracle card, we have peace. There's the artwork, and the number is 23. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings says freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. The oracle's message: it doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and a soul's satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, right? As far as, like I said, if you are feeling that push-pull, like there's this little voice in the back of your head telling you to jump into something new, could just be telling you to actually just take a little time to unwind, right? Especially, like we said, if nothing else, all those retrograde energies might be a good reason to ride that energy out. All right, the relationship message says when two people are in true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours, and it is to be savored. So interesting message there, really, because just looking at this spread as a whole, this really seemed like a pretty significant solo journey for you guys this month. But for those of you looking for some relationship guidance, hopefully that resonated. And worst case, I already have the mid-July readings posted on the page, and then also the mid-August ones will be out in a couple weeks. All right, the prosperity message says this is one of those times when you're capable of clear vision about your work and how you create your prosperity. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're called by a presence to step into your power. Just being is enough, for you are in a peaceful harmony with spirit, and it shows in your work. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, right? Especially the part where it says keep doing what you're doing, right? So as far as, like we said, if you're feeling like there's this pull all of a sudden for you to do something a different way or take on something new altogether, and maybe that's what it is, right? You might feel like, oh, I'm not getting the rewards of this work. That could be the key there too, where it's like, where if that makes you feel like, oh, I'm going to switch up the way I do things, it could just be saying, ride out the way you've been doing things for the time being, and you'll see the results. All right, and moving on to your Mudra card, we have the Gada Mudra. This is the Mudra there. The keyword for it is stability. And let's see what this has to say. Alright, so there's a lot on this card. So what I'm going to do is hold it up here for a second if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. And then I'll move it up to get the rest of the stuff into the frame there. Alright, but under benefits it says improves elimination and tones the organs of the pelvis, treats hemorrhoids and prolapsed organs, strengthens the Muladhara chakra, opens the flow of rising energy up the back of the body, evokes feelings of stability, groundedness, and safety. So if that sounds like a movie thing to be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description below as always. So we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. Alright, bye.